Hello, I'm Richard McKinley, the president of IAPS, and it's my pleasure to have a conversation right now with Charles Pear, one of the jurors from the exhibition in Dunedin, Florida, the IAPS 36 exhibition. And Charles and the group did an amazing job in selecting the paintings. And so today what we're doing is a little virtual fantasy. Charles and I are at the exhibition in Florida, and we're walking through looking at the amazing paintings. And Charles is going to share some of his observations about these paintings with all of you. So this is going to be a real treat for us. Charles?
Yeah, um, I'll tell you, this painting, when I first saw it, I was just so struck by the confidence this artist had in executing this painting. I loved the strength of the shapes and the confidence of the strokes, putting these large, bold, simple shapes like the wall and the urns, and then these blue flowers in the foreground, and how that is in contrast with these almost hatching marks of strength and bold colors. And I thought it just was a wonderful, wonderful piece.
And the artist is Tara Will, and the title is Allium in May.
Oh, yes. Now, this piece, it's not a really large painting, and yet it seemed to jump off of the surface. I thought it was a very interesting selection of imagery, the flowers. The composition is not at all what you might expect from a typical still life. It's not a typical composition. It looks so effortless and free. And another thing that I thought was so interesting about it is that the technique, the composition, the mark making feels so new and fresh, and what a wonderful new idea. And yet the color combinations, especially with the colors in the background, paired with the yellows and the kind of rosy colors, almost has a vintage palette to me. So I thought that was a very interesting combination to put in this piece.
Yes, and the artist is Nancy Nowak, and the painting title is Sunlit Flowers.
Ah, yes. I was struck by the monumental feeling of this painting. What a simple subject matter, and what a simple task to be doing, digging for clams. Now, I don't know anything about how you dig for clams, but this looks like back-breaking work. And yet the strength of these simple shapes, these simple stark contrast and values, it tells an enormous story with very little detail. I thought it felt very monumental.
The artist is Susan Ellis, and the title is Clam Digger.
Oh, yes. I thought this piece had so much atmosphere to it. There was such a sense of time and place that you absolutely know where you are, what it feels like to be in this quiet, serene, peaceful place. Cold, it feels very wintry, and yet there is this very subtle contrast of these warm lights coming through all of these cool clouds and through the snow and reflecting off of what seems to be water down near the bottom. It just tells a story with of time and place in being there, experiencing it.
The artist is Jennifer Hoffman. Painting title is Resplendence.
I thought this was another storytelling moment. And yet the story here felt very personal and very private, almost like I'm getting a peek into this couple's private and difficult moment. Each of them are responding to what must be a very difficult, sad, stressful moment for them. And yet there is a sense of committedness to the cause. The feeling that I have personally committed to working for you know, the cause of peace or whatever. I know in the upper right hand corner it says save our trains, and I translate that almost into saving freedom or saving the people's whether it's here or abroad, and these people are individually struggling with this moment, and I thought it was a very powerful story.
The artist is Edgar, Carabio, and the painting title is Send Off.
I thought that this was, again, a very unique and striking still life. The thing that struck me immediately was the strength of the color palette. Very, very rich colors. And you absolutely get the feeling of warm lamplight. It almost has that golden hour evening glow to it. So maybe it's sitting by a window, but the composition, the lines in the fabric absolutely draw you up to the focal points. And I thought there was a mastery of handling of color between the warm color palette and the cool shades in the highlights and in the shadows. Very, very striking piece.
The artist is Marie Weltzheimer, and the painting title is Pear, Duet.
I thought this was a wonderful piece, and it had a totally different feel for from so many other pieces, and yet it is a sense of place and time, but and a bit of storytelling. It has it's a unique location, and yet there's a bit of mystery to it. What's up those stairs? What's around the corner? What's hiding in that doorway? The condition of the building, is it empty? Is it deteriorating? There's a bit of a mystery, not necessarily scary, but a sense of, I want to know what is around that corner. And so it draws me in with very simple geometric kinds of shapes. Very strong piece.
Yes, the artist is Natalia, Chekotova, and the painting title is Straight Up the Stairs and To the Right. Well, this has just been wonderful. I'm so glad that I bumped into you today in our virtual exhibition. And
what a wonderful serendipitous moment.
yes, and it was very kind of you to share your insights with me and with everybody. And so again, we really appreciate all of your efforts on behalf of the exhibition, and finding time today to share with the community some of those insights. So thank you very much.
Because, you know, walking through the gallery and having seen the work that was submitted, the pieces, there are so many stunning pieces that could be discussed and deserving of awards. So it's been a pleasure to do this.
Well, again, we thank you very much, and look forward to when we get to do one of these in person. So
Absolutely. I look forward to that too. Have a great day.
thank
Peace.
you, Charles.